Hello everyone, and welcome to this lesson. Today, we're going to focus on professional communication in the workplace, one of the most critical skills for success, no matter your role, industry, or level of experience. You might be highly skilled technically, but if you can't communicate clearly, professionally, and respectfully, your impact will always be limited. The good news? Professional communication is a learnable skill. Let's break it down together with real-life examples. What is professional communication? Professional communication is how you share information, ideas, and emotions in a work environment in a clear, respectful, and goal-oriented way. It's not about being cold or robotic. It's about being clear, respectful, purpose-driven, emotionally intelligent. Key idea: professional communication balances human warmth with professional boundaries. Why professional communication matters at work? Let me be very honest with you here. Most workplace problems are not technical problems. They are communication problems. Professional communication helps you avoid misunderstandings, build trust with colleagues and managers, handle conflict calmly, look confident and competent, advance your career. Example: unprofessional. This makes no sense. Who decided this? Professional. I'd like to better understand the reasoning behind this decision. Could you clarify? Same concern, very different impact. Key elements of professional communication. Clarity. Say what you mean. Professional communication is clear and structured. Avoid long, confusing sentences, vague language, assumptions. Example: email. Unclear. Can you handle this soon? Clear. Could you please complete the report by Thursday at 3 p.m. and share the final version with the team? Clarity reduces stress for everyone. Tone. It's not just what you say. Your tone can build cooperation or create resistance. Especially in emails and messages, tone matters a lot because people can't see your facial expression. Example: harsh tone. You didn't send the file. Professional tone. I didn't see the file yet. Could you please send it when you have a moment? Same message, completely different emotional effect. Respect, even under pressure. Being professional doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means disagreeing respectfully. Example: disagreement in a meeting. That idea won't work. I see the value in that approach. My concern is the timeline. May I suggest an alternative? Respect keeps doors open. Verbal communication in the workplace. Speaking in meetings. In meetings, professional communicators speak clearly, stay on topic, don't interrupt, listen actively. Example: instead of, so I was thinking, maybe, kind of, say, I'd like to propose a solution focused on reducing delivery time by 15%. Confidence comes from clarity. Giving feedback professionally. Feedback is a big test of professionalism. Use the behavior, impact, suggestion model. Example: when the report was submitted late, behavior, it delayed the client review, impact. Next time, let's agree on a buffer deadline, suggestion. This approach is calm, fair, and constructive. Written communication, emails and messages. Professional email structure. A professional email usually has clear subject line, polite opening, direct message, clear action or request, professional closing. Example: subject: project update, phase 2. Hello Alex, I hope you're doing well. I'm writing to share an update on phase 2 of the project. The development is complete and testing will finish by Friday. Please let me know if you'd like a review meeting. Best regards, Jack. Simple, clear, professional. Chat tools: Slack, Teams, WhatsApp. Just because it's chat doesn't mean it's casual. Hi Sarah, just checking if you had a chance to review my message. Professional not equals slow. Professional equals respectful. Nonverbal communication at work. Your body language speaks before you do. Key professional signals: eye contact, open posture, calm facial expression, controlled gestures. Example: during a presentation, standing confidently, avoiding crossed arms, speaking at a steady pace. These signals increase credibility. Professional communication in difficult situations. Handling conflict. Professional communication is emotionally controlled communication. Instead of reacting emotionally, pause, breathe, choose your words. Example: you always ignore my input. I feel my input is sometimes overlooked. I'd appreciate more opportunity to share my perspective. This shifts the conversation from blame to solution. Communicating with managers. With managers, be concise, be prepared, be solution-oriented. Example, instead of, we have a problem, say, we're facing a delay due to supplier issues. I recommend option A or B. What do you think? Managers value clarity and initiative. Common mistakes to avoid. Let's quickly highlight what to avoid. Overusing informal language, writing emotional emails, interrupting others, making assumptions, avoiding difficult conversations. Professional communication is not avoidance, it's skillful engagement. In this part of our communication skills course, we'll focus on something you experience every single workday, communicating with managers, colleagues, and teams. Even if you are technically very strong at your job, how you communicate often determines how you are perceived, how smoothly work gets done, and how far you progress in your career. So let's break this down step by step, with realistic examples and practical tips you can use immediately. Communicating with managers. Communicating with managers is not about being formal all the time. It's about being clear, respectful, and solution-oriented. What managers usually care about. Managers typically focus on results and progress, deadlines and risks, solutions, not just problems, clear and concise information. Key principles. When talking to a manager, be prepared. Be brief but informative. Be honest but professional. Focus on impact and outcomes. Example, giving a status update. Weak communication. I'm still working on it. There were some issues. Strong communication. The task is 80% complete. I faced a data issue yesterday, but I've resolved it. I expect to finish by tomorrow afternoon. Notice the difference. Clarity, confidence, and control. Another example, raising a problem. Problem-only approach. This process doesn't work. It's too slow. Solution-oriented approach. This process is slowing us down. If we automate step 2, we could save around 2 hours per week. Managers appreciate people who think ahead and offer solutions. Tip for you. Before speaking to a manager, ask yourself, what does my manager need to know right now? Communicating with colleagues. Colleagues are your day-to-day partners. Good communication here builds trust, cooperation, and a positive work environment. What colleagues value? Respect and fairness, being listened to, clear expectations, friendly, human interaction. Key principles. Use a collaborative tone, avoid blame, be open to feedback, show appreciation. Example, giving feedback to a colleague. Defensive tone. You didn't send the file on time, so everything was delayed. Constructive tone. I noticed the file came later than expected. Is there anything we can adjust to avoid delays next time? This keeps the relationship healthy and productive. Another example, asking for help. Vague request. Can you help me sometime? Clear request. Could you help me review this report for 10 minutes today? I'd really value your input. Clear communication shows respect for others' time. Tip for you. Small things matter. Say thank you. Acknowledge effort. Give credit publicly. These habits strengthen professional relationships over time. Communicating within teams. Team communication is about alignment. Everyone needs to understand the goal, their role, timelines, how decisions are made. Common team communication challenges, misunderstandings, information silos, unclear responsibilities, conflicting expectations. Key principles. Be transparent. Encourage participation. Clarify roles and next steps. Summarize decisions. Example, team meeting communication. Unclear ending. Okay, let's think about this and talk later. Clear ending. So we agreed on option B. Sarah will draft the proposal by Friday and we'll review it on Monday. Clear closure prevents confusion. Another example, handling disagreement in a team. Personal reaction. That idea doesn't make sense. Professional response. I see your point. My concern is the timeline. How could we adjust it to make this work? This keeps discussions professional, not personal. Tip for you. In team communication, always ask, do we all have the same understanding of what happens next? Adjusting your communication style. One size does not fit all. With managers, be structured and outcome-focused. With colleagues, be collaborative and supportive. With teams, be clear, inclusive, and organized. Great communicators are flexible. They adjust how they speak without changing who they are. A simple daily communication checklist. Before you speak or write, quickly check, is my message clear? Is my tone respectful? Am I focused on solutions? Does the other person know what to do next? If the answer is yes to most of these, you're on the right track. Final thought for you. Strong workplace communication is not about sounding impressive. It's about making work easier, smoother, and more human for everyone involved. In this lesson, we're going to focus on a topic that almost every organization struggles with at some point: cross-department communication and collaboration. If you've ever thought, they don't understand what we do in our department, why is this process so slow? We're all working hard, but nothing seems aligned. Then this lesson is especially for you. I'll explain everything in a clear, practical, and friendly way, and we'll use real workplace examples so you can immediately apply what you learn. What is cross-department communication? Cross-department communication is the way different teams or departments exchange information, ideas, expectations, and feedback to achieve shared goals. Examples of departments that must work together: marketing, sales, HR, operations, IT, business units, finance, project teams. Each department has its own priorities, its own language, sometimes even jargon, its own deadlines and pressures. The challenge is making all of them work as one system, not isolated islands. Why cross-department collaboration often fails? Let's be honest, problems usually don't come from bad intentions. They come from misunderstandings. Common reasons for failure: different goals. Sales wants speed, finance wants accuracy, IT wants stability. Each goal makes sense individually, but without alignment, conflict is inevitable. Lack of context. Departments often say, just do your part, but without understanding why something is needed, people feel disconnected. Silo mentality. That's not our responsibility, that's their problem. This mindset kills collaboration faster than anything else. Poor communication channels. Too many emails. Unclear meeting outcomes. No single source of truth. The role of communication skills in collaboration. This is where you come in. Strong cross-department communication requires clarity. Say what you need, by when, and why. Weak. We need this ASAP. Strong. We need this by Thursday because it's required for the client presentation on Friday. Empathy. Try to understand the pressures of other teams. Example: I know your team is overloaded this week. Let's prioritize what's most critical. Empathy builds trust, and trust speeds everything up. Adaptability. Different departments prefer different communication styles. Some want details, some want summaries, some prefer meetings, some prefer written updates. Great communicators adjust their style, not expect others to adapt. Practical examples from the workplace. Example: marketing and sales. Problem: marketing creates campaigns, but sales says, these leads aren't qualified. What went wrong? No shared definition of a qualified lead. No regular feedback loop. Better communication approach. Joint meeting to define lead criteria. Monthly feedback sessions. Shared dashboard with metrics. Another example: IT and operations. Problem: operations complains, IT is too slow. IT responds, they don't understand system risks. Solution through communication. IT explains risks in business terms, not technical jargon. Operations explains urgency with real business impact. Shared prioritization meetings. Example 3. HR and team managers. Problem: HR introduces new policies. Managers ignore them. Why? Managers don't see immediate value. Policies feel theoretical. Improved approach. HR explains how the policy helps managers. Real-life scenarios instead of documents only. Open Q&A sessions. Best practices for effective cross-department communication. Create shared goals. Always answer, how does this help the organization as a whole? Use simple language. Avoid department-specific jargon. Speak in clear human language. Clarify roles and responsibilities. Who does what? Who decides? Who approves? Ambiguity causes frustration. Encourage two-way communication. Collaboration is not giving instructions. It's listening plus responding. Document agreements. After meetings, summarize decisions, assign owners, set deadlines. This avoids, "I thought you were handling that." Your role as a professional communicator. No matter your position, you can be the bridge between departments. You can reduce tension through clear communication. You can turn conflict into cooperation. Ask yourself, did I explain the why? Did I listen before responding? Did I adapt my message to my audience? Quick reflection for you. Before we wrap up, think about this. Which department do you find hardest to work with? What communication barrier exists there? What is one thing you could change in how you communicate with them? Small changes create big collaboration wins. Final thought. Organizations don't fail because of lack of talent. They fail because departments stop talking to each other. And the good news? Communication skills can fix that. As part of our communication skills course, today we're diving into one of the most powerful and often most uncomfortable topics in the workplace: giving and receiving performance feedback. Let me say this up front. Feedback is not about judging people. Feedback is about helping people grow. When feedback is handled well, it builds trust, motivation, and performance. When it's handled poorly, it creates fear, defensiveness, and disengagement. So let's learn how to do it the right way, with clarity, empathy, and confidence. What is performance feedback? Performance feedback is information shared with the intention of improving future behavior or performance. It can be positive feedback, reinforcing what works; constructive feedback, correcting or improving what doesn't. Important reminder for you as a professional: feedback is not about the past, it's about the future. Why feedback matters so much. Let's look at what effective feedback actually does. Builds trust and transparency, improves performance and productivity, encourages learning and growth, reduces misunderstandings and conflicts, strengthens team relationships. Teams that exchange feedback regularly perform better than teams that avoid it. Giving feedback effectively, step by step. Now let's focus on how to give feedback in a way people can truly hear. Step 1. Choose the right moment. Give feedback as close to the situation as possible. Avoid public criticism. Use private settings. Make sure emotions are calm, yours and theirs. Bad timing example. Giving feedback when you're angry or stressed. Good timing example. Can we take 10 minutes later today to talk about yesterday's presentation? Step 2. Be specific, not vague. Vague feedback. You need to be more professional. Specific feedback. In yesterday's meeting, interrupting others made it harder for the team to share ideas. Specific feedback feels fair and actionable. Step 3. Focus on behavior, not personality. This is critical. Personality-based. You are careless. Behavior-based. The report had several missing data points which affected the final decision. We can change behavior. We can't change personalities. Step 4. Use a simple feedback structure. A very effective model is this: situation, behavior, impact. Example. During the client call, situation, you interrupted the customer several times, behavior, which made them less engaged in the discussion, impact. Clear, neutral, powerful. Step 5. Balance feedback. Don't forget the positive. Feedback is not only about fixing problems. Positive feedback example. Your clear explanation during the demo helped the client understand the solution quickly. Positive feedback. Reinforces good habits, increases motivation, builds confidence. A good rule: if you only give feedback when something goes wrong, people will fear it. Receiving feedback professionally. Now let's switch roles. At some point, you will be on the receiving end. Step 1. Listen without defending. Your first reaction might be emotional. That's normal. Defensive response. That's not true. Everyone does that. Professional response. I understand. Can you give me an example? Step 2. Ask clarifying questions. Good questions show maturity and openness. Examples. Can you help me understand how this affected the team? What would you suggest I do differently next time? This turns feedback into a learning conversation. Step 3. Separate emotion from information. Even if feedback is delivered poorly, there may still be valuable insight inside it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What action can I take? Step 4. Thank the person. Yes, even if the feedback is uncomfortable. Example, thank you for sharing this. I appreciate the honesty. This response builds trust and shows emotional intelligence. Real-life workplace scenarios. Scenario 1. Giving constructive feedback to a colleague. I really appreciate your effort on this project. One thing I noticed is that deadlines were sometimes missed. If we communicate earlier about challenges, we can support each other better. Why it works. Starts positive. Focuses on behavior. Suggests a solution. Scenario 2. Receiving feedback from a manager. Manager says, your reports are accurate, but they often arrive late. Good response. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll adjust my schedule and give earlier updates if delays happen. Common feedback mistakes to avoid. Avoid these at all costs. Giving feedback emotionally, using absolute words, always, never. Attacking personality. Avoiding feedback completely, saving feedback for annual reviews only. Feedback should be regular, respectful, and relevant. Feedback as a culture, not an event. The healthiest organizations treat feedback as continuous, two-way, safe, development-focused. When feedback becomes normal, it stops being scary. Final thought for you. As professionals, our goal is not to be comfortable, it's to grow. Giving feedback shows leadership. Receiving feedback shows maturity. If you master both, you become someone people trust, respect, and want to work with. In this lesson, we're going to talk about something all of us experience sooner or later: communicating when the pressure is high, tight deadlines, angry customers, system failures, urgent decisions, emotional teammates. Sound familiar? High-pressure environments don't just test your technical skills, they test how you communicate. The good news? Communication under pressure can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Let's walk through this together, step by step, with real-life examples you can easily relate to. What is a high-pressure work environment? A high-pressure work environment is any situation where time is limited, stakes are high, emotions are intense, mistakes have serious consequences. Common examples: a production outage in an IT company, a hospital emergency room during peak hours, a customer service team handling a public complaint, a manager facing a sudden deadline from senior leadership, a sales team negotiating a last-minute deal. Key idea: pressure itself is not the enemy. Poor communication under pressure is. How pressure affects communication. Before we fix the problem, we need to understand it. Under pressure, people often speak too fast or too vaguely, interrupt others, stop listening, use harsh or emotional language, focus on blaming instead of solving. Example: why didn't you check this earlier? Now everything is ruined. We're under time pressure. Let's quickly identify what went wrong and fix it. Notice the difference? Same situation, very different impact. The golden rule: clarity over perfection. When pressure is high, clarity beats elegance. Instead of long explanations, complex sentences, assumptions, focus on short sentences, clear priorities, direct requests. Example: project deadline. I think maybe we should consider reviewing the file again if you have time. Please review the file in the next 20 minutes and confirm when done. Clear, simple, action-oriented. Managing your emotions before you speak. Let's be honest, pressure triggers emotions. But effective communicators don't ignore emotions, they manage them. A simple 3-step emotional reset. Pause. Even 3 seconds helps. Breathe, slow and deep. Choose your words intentionally. Example: you receive an angry email from a client. Immediate response, emotional: this is unfair, we already explained this. Regulated response: I understand your concern. Let me clarify the situation and explain the next steps. Professional, calm, trust-building. Speaking with confidence, not aggression. Pressure often pushes people into aggressive communication, but confidence and aggression are not the same. Confident communication sounds like calm tone, firm but respectful language, Focus on solutions. Example, team crisis. Everyone messed this up. I'm tired of fixing your mistakes. We have an issue. Let's assign tasks now and solve it together. Same authority, much better results. Active listening under pressure. Here's a hard truth. Listening becomes harder when pressure increases. And more important, techniques for high-pressure listening. Don't interrupt. Summarize what you heard. Ask one clear question at a time. Example, so, if I understand correctly, the system failed after the update, and we have 30 minutes to respond. Is that right? This shows attention, respect, control of the situation. Using structured communication models. In high-pressure moments, structure saves time. A simple and powerful structure. Situation, problem, action. Example, situation. The client meeting starts in 15 minutes. Problem, the presentation file won't open. Action, please resend the file or share a backup version now. No confusion, no panic, just progress. Communicating with different roles under pressure. With managers, be concise. Focus on impact and solutions. The delay will be 10 minutes. We're fixing it now and will update you at 14:30. With colleagues, be collaborative. Avoid blame. Let's split tasks so we can recover faster. With customers, be calm and empathetic. Provide reassurance. We're aware of the issue and actively working on it. I'll update you shortly. Common mistakes to avoid. Raising your voice, sending emotional messages, over-explaining, assigning blame publicly, making promises you can't keep. High pressure is not an excuse for poor communication. It's a test of professionalism. Practice scenario. Imagine this. Your team is about to miss a deadline. One colleague made a mistake. Everyone is stressed. Your goal? Address the issue. Keep the team focused. Avoid blame. Try forming a response that is calm, is clear, moves the team forward. You'll be surprised how powerful the right words can be. Final thoughts. Dear friends, communicating in high-pressure environments is a career-defining skill. People may forget what went wrong, but they never forget how you spoke to them under pressure. When stress rises, slow down your words, sharpen your message, lead with calm. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be clear, calm, and human.